I'd like to call to order the town board. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Holmes?
Here.
Trustee Ryerson?
Here.
Trustee Fisher?
Here.
Trustee McDowell?
Here.
Chairman Neal?
Here. Mr. Brumner, would you do us the honor?
I'm short of pledging allegiance to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mel.
Thank you, sir, very much. Okay, are there any agenda changes this evening? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Second discussion, clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Trustee Ryerson?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Next item is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held on June 20th, 2023 at 6:00 p.m. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion second, discussion? So I just wanted, like, today I, took some time to, really read through the minutes and just, I'm embarrassed to say for the first time, noticed how intentional our clerk is with doing the minutes. And I sent you an email, but I really felt like I needed to say it publicly too. I really appreciate how hard you work on this stuff, and it gets overlooked all the time. And so, just so you know, I know you hate, it's like, good you're not, but thank you. So, appreciate it. And that goes into the minutes, correct?
I didn't know that.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Trustee Ryerson?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Are there any citizens' comments this evening?
I have to say that our town is looking decorous with the zinnias.
It
And I already
really
have
is.
thoughts about next year.
And what?
I already have thoughts about next year.
Very cool. We'll keep it going, so thank you. And just, as always, a shout out for you and Janet doing the watering. It makes all the difference, so I'm very grateful, yeah. You're not trying, just for the record.
Kind of labor of love with us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Her husband comes too, so you need to mention.
Oh, does he really?
Yes. Not all the time, but he's come 3 or 4 times.
Oh, wow.
I was gonna say, I think, at some point, it's has turned its head in terms of zinnias being the talk of the town, where some people just were like, why are we spending money on flowers? And then you look, and Zion has just been beautified, and it continued to blossom and bloom, and it's like the talk of the town, honestly.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's a tornado that came out of her bed.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from, but, I really appreciate it. We had a resident reach out this summer, and say, we're doing Monarch, why aren't we doing a zinnia festival? And so it is in full bloom. Talk about this thing, this 2-day event. The Park District is sponsoring Salsa Vera, salsa band on Saturday night, August 19th, and so we'll get into it more, but everything is definitely growing from it. I think so my birthday weekend, Memorial Day weekend, we had just planted all the zinnias, right? And it wasn't gonna rain and we didn't have water, and I literally pouted all weekend because I couldn't get my hands on a watering truck anywhere. And then I woke up and realized that you could powder, you could do something about it, and went on Facebook Marketplace and got the water tank for $75, and then went over to Ace Hardware. Those guys are rock stars. They help to do all of the conglomerations, and then Lou and Janet took the keys from me and took off with it.
Got them in my pocket.
Right, and the fire department, right, constantly.
A note for the minutes, don't fill up both gas tanks.
Oh, right.
We filled up both gas tanks and then we filled the water thing at the fire department where it normally does, and the tires just went like this.
Yeah, yeah, because there's
But
2
they
gas
said
tanks
it.
on that truck, so, yeah.
But where they drew the line was
Before
filled up
we
both
went and got
gas
gas. All the little things, so yeah, but thank you very much. Okay, moving on, authorized bills for payment for June. Is there a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve bills in the total of $105,387.98.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question on, let's see.
Well, and I can just share it. So trustee Holmes texted me today and said the June check register, what is the $1,018.50 interest payment to Lake Forest Bank and Trust for? And so thank you for reaching out and asking that. So we pay 2 interest payments per year, one in January and then another one on July 1st. And then it says, then in December, I will get ready to pay the first one in 2024 for the property. So those are the interest payments for our,
Thank you.
that. Cool, thank you. Any other questions, comments? Okay. We have a motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Trustee Fryerson?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Next item on the agenda is consider approval of new health insurance policy. So we were informed by our broker, Mike Best, that Humana, this is going to be their last year doing insurance for employers, and that we are going to need to go with another company. And so he did some work for us, and in your packets is the recommended. I did have Sandra reach out to 2 other brokers to see if we could get some other quotes, but what they said was that with the health insurance system now, all of the brokers get exactly the same rate, so it wouldn't do any good to have different brokers going for quotes, and that this was pretty much it. So what Mike Best recommended was the Blue Cross Blue Shield. He checked out United Healthcare, but there was so much vague information and it's a la carte, so trying to figure it out, and it just felt like this really weird bait and switch game where you couldn't really tell, what it would actually be. And so he recommended we go with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Of course, it's lower this year. They do that every single time, and then next year they jack it up, and he said that it would probably go up 7 to 14% next year. So yeah, so that's what we have for the insurance. And so I'm hoping to get your approval because August 1st is our change date. So not a lot of time to.
So, kid, just
Yeah.
a general question. So I see you have, Humana and Blue Cross, and you have 2 different columns for Blue Cross. Are these coverage tiers, or are they 2 separate plans?
2 separate plans. They're completely different
So
plans.
which one
Well,
are
Mike
you-
recommended that the lower cost by about $1,000 per person with the deductibles and with everything was the G507.
Okay.
It says, this is from Sandra, the plans that we received were Blue Cross Blue Shields, which has 2 plans for PPO and United. The United packet provided a deductible of $5,000 for individuals and $10,000 for family within network. United Health Insurance Plan had different plans, but the above plan was the only one via a la carte that was comparable to our current Humana. As you can see, the Humana plan is going up for the upcoming renewal date of August 1st. With the same coverage as current. We review the 2 Blue Cross Blue Shields plans, and both packages came in with a lower premium than what Humana is offering for the renewal. While the 508 and the 507 are similar, they differ in the deductible and out-of-pocket expense. The 508 has a lower premium and deductible, but a higher out-of-pocket expense. The recommendation is to go with the 507 plan.
So do you want a motion for the Blue Cross Blue Shield 507?
Yes, please. That would be, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any other discussion, questions?
Is there a term for this renewal, or these are annual?
Annual.
You said yes, it's annual.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Trustee Fryerson?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Dan?
Aye. Next item is the assessor's report. Ms. Black?
Good evening. We have a summer intern who has been a tremendous help in our office and with updating our data and completing research for us. And, we will begin field work in the upcoming weeks before she leaves, because she's, just with us through the end of the month. So thanks so much for the summer work program. Glad to have her on our, staff on our team. We have a new software system, True Roll is the name of it, that is through the county for exemption validation. So it's designed to, assist us with identifying those who are receiving exemptions and, for those who should not be receiving them. And we'll also be prepared to recapture any taxes due. Currently, we just rolled it out, and currently the county has identified over $1 million in taxes, which is more than covered for the program, the cost of the program, that they are going to be recapturing from residents, and or those who are claiming and should not be in Lake County. Each township has their own access and, to the system, and we can review and identify information when, anyone comes in our office and is applying for an exemption. And then, we don't make the final call, but we do make recommendations to the county or any findings that we have, and they will make that final decision. And then lastly, in community news, we held a quad workshop here last month to educate the public and discuss the tax bill, the blue assessment notice, and the quadrennial process. We had special guests, Lake County Chief County Assessment Officer Bob Blucher, and Lake County Treasurer Holly Kim. And so I just want to say thanks to all those that came out and supported.
So how big was the attendance?
It was small.
It's the
But
one
those that
thing.
needed to be there were there.
There you go.
That's what I said, yeah.
There you go.
But Chris came out,
Awesome.
Trustee Fisher,
Very well.
appreciate it.
Well, and just thank you for all your efforts to try and
Yeah.
educate people to get the best information, right?
Yeah,
I had a question, Assessor Davis, so connected to, the new software system, I haven't seen the notices, but I've heard some feedback from, residents that there's been some new letters going out about
Absolutely.
recertification.
Absolutely. So for you mean the letters going out for those that have been receiving an exemption in error?
Or needing to supply their information again to ensure that they should still be receiving the exemption?
Correct.
Okay.
So the county will send that out. We
Okay.
don't send any of the correspondence or anything out. We just plug everything into the system, and then they will do a double check on their side, and then they will reach out to the taxpayers for
Got it.
any further documentation or verification of it.
Thank you.
And any that they found so far, they have readjusted their bills so that the upcoming bill, it will reflect on there, or, I'm not sure if they are doing any payment arrangements of any kind. I have to ask that, now that I think about that, I'm not sure. But I know that, some have had their bills adjusted, and we will go back as far as we can see that person has claimed an exemption in error, or, falsely. So if you were claiming in Florida and here, and this is your, in Florida is your second home or something, or vice versa, just in error period, we will, go back, if you claim from 2013 to now, we will collect that 10-year period, that's the intention.
Ooh.
And so is that a one-time separate bill, or does it just go as a special line on the
That
tax?
I'm not
Okay.
totally positive about, I have to ask about that to confirm. But yes, we're going back as far as we as far as they can see where the exemption was claimed in error.
And is there some sort of appeal part of this process, or?
There is no appeal for that. So the way the system is set out, there are different tiers, like, so the higher level, they're like from 5 is the highest and 1 is the lowest. So at 5, that means that, it's kind of like I think of it as like a glorified skip tracing type of system. There are all these different, avenues that they get their data. And so if you have 5 things that are pointing to you being, you know, someone that is
Yes.
getting an exemption, in error, then that list doesn't even come to us. The county just automatically sends it out. And so you would need to send your, you need to prove it all.
Right.
And then going down from there are the ones that we would look at and verify. And then, make our recommendations or send any information in that we find.
Okay, thank you, that's good to know.
I had a question on the summer intern. When
Yes.
is the last date for that person?
The 28th?
And do you foresee any need for any
20.
help in the fall or beyond
Do I see any in my office?
in your office?
No, because we usually kind of prepare for our interns, so we have like special projects and things that we, have them to work on during that time frame. I can't say that I would like definitely need someone, but I'm never gonna say never, because as soon as I say that, like this is a quadrennial year,
Sure.
we don't know what we're gonna have in appeals and things of that nature, so, even if it's something as small as filing, if things got to be real hectic, that could be a very big job, so right now, I don't see a need for it, but I won't say that it wouldn't be one in the future.
Thank you.
The date is,
Yeah, Friday the 28th.
28th, yes.
Yeah.
Is the last day.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Anything else
That's
for the
fine.
assessor? Okay, moving on. Supervisor's report. I just want to welcome you guys to the meeting. Are you just here to listen in? Did you have something you wanted to speak on, or?
Not in this session.
The city council session. Well, welcome to the township board meeting prior to the city council meeting. Not quite as engaged, right? So, but we appreciate you being here. So as far as my supervisor's report, so yes, the summer work program is in full swing. We have 30 kids, led by Adriana Ortiz, Rod Henry, and then Charday Bone joined us this year. She works at the high school. But this afternoon, I was at a meeting in Libertyville, and I got this text message. Just an FYI, there was an incident with one of the kids while working, and Rod had to call the ambulance. The kid dislocated his knee. They took him to Vista. Grace went with and waited until Grandpa showed up. Things are looking okay, but have to do an x-ray. She gave the grandfather Adriana's cell phone number and asked him to call her later with an update. Things are under control. So that's actually the first injury that I think we've ever had in the 22 years we've been doing it. So, but really glad with how my team handled it. And
Do they sign
so,
a waiver?
yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah. Well, and actually, they're actually not even, they're not even township employees. They're county employees.
Okay.
So they go through the job center of Lake County, and then the mentors are the township employees. And even they, the park district pays half of their salaries because they do so much work on the park district property. So when our levy got cut in half, we thought we were gonna lose the whole program, and that was how we moved it over to the county and finagled it so we could keep it going. And thanks to organizations like Colette being willing to take it an intern, we get some really good opportunities for the kids, so very cool. So just a heads up, the township will be closed on Thursday, August 4th and Friday, August 5th. Every year, I bring my entire staff to the Global Leadership Summit. It's the ROI, the return on the investment of taking them to this has been substantial. Them believing that they are leaders in their own right, and the input that they give for how to do things differently and better has been just huge. So grateful that we have that opportunity to do that. And then the next thing, Mike, you want to say this? Esther's Well is up and running.
It
seems
is.
It seems,
Yeah.
it seems really weird that like at the last meeting, we said that we were gonna be doing the ribbon cutting, or the groundbreaking, and then we did the ribbon cutting, both from the last meeting till now.
Yeah, we had a very short time frame from groundbreaking to dedication, but we were able to get the well up and running and the concrete poured, and we're still not quite finished with the project. We wanna put in a walkway. We're in the process of putting in a ramp for everyone to have access to the facility. We need to plant some grass and just a few other little things that we'll probably have to do to make it better.
Right. And I met with Christine Wortman from the Park District about the benches.
Oh, and benches, yeah.
And she, what she suggested was that when we meet with the Center for Independent Living, have them help recommend where and what and how, so that we have some more input on that too, so I like that idea a lot. So, but we do have 3 sponsors for the benches, and so we'll be moving forward with that as well, so. It is beautiful, it's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
And I think it looks great,
Oh my gosh,
in
yeah.
my own biased opinion, I think.
Yes, it is absolutely. If you have not had a chance to go see it yet, it's off of the parking lot to the shallow pool. Really, really proud of the vision that you had and carrying it out. So, it's so beautiful. So next item is the Zinnia and Monarch Festival will be held on August 19th and 20th from 1 until 5 p.m. at the Zion Park District Bandshell. By tomorrow, we will have the Zinnia and Monarch Festival.com website up and running, which will have the vendor applications, sponsorship applications. We are doing a photo contest for Zinnias and Monarchs, a poster contest to market next year's festival, a cut flower contest, and the library and Culver's are doing a coloring contest for all ages. You just go down to Culver's and you color the picture and turn it in. The first 100 participants get a free custard for doing that. So 0 to 120, anybody can do it. So show up for that. And then I also want to give a shout out the Zion Park District. So monarch butterflies, when they leave here in the fall, they fly down to Michoacan, Mexico. And over a third of our community is from Mexico, and so we wanted to do something we don't really do anything to highlight that part of our community, and so they're bringing in a salsa band, Salsa Vera, from 5 until 7. We're going to have a bull riding competition, and so we'll be giving out the awards during the concert.
A mechanical bull, right?
I don't know what it is, but Jean Vines is in charge of it, so that'll tell you something. She'll make it work. As well as all kinds of other incredible things going on. We are planning a donut eating contest for the leaders in the community. So if any of the trustees would be interested in being a part of that, I think we're just going to do 6 donuts. I haven't had a donut since 2018, I think, literally, because I don't do sugar. But I'm going to take one for the team. I'm gonna go for the award. So Assessor Davis. If you are interested in being a part of it. It's just for fun, right? I did, yes. Lou being in charge of ESDA, she already said yes to it, and I sent it out to the other leaders, so the school superintendents, the library director, the park district director, just for a fun get-together thing, so that'll be on Saturday, up on the stage.
Why does it,
Who can eat 6 the fastest?
Whoever can eat the 6 donuts the fastest.
so why did you choose donuts, if you don't mind me asking?
Somebody in the committee brought up having a donut eating contest, and so we just ran with it. So yeah. Do you have another idea of something?
Carrots, maybe.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be smarter? That's really funny. Well, maybe next year that would be the upgrade.
It's actually harder to eat carrots than it is donuts.
It is very hard to eat carrots, and if somebody chokes, it's easier to choke on a carrot than it is a donut. And we really wanted to be able to showcase a business, having CJ's. They do have the best donuts in Lake County, so why not do that? So, yeah, we were going to, what the original plan was to have police officers and firemen do the contest, and then they had to get a teenager to be their partner and put a pole with a string, and so they had to tie it on there, and the kid had to help them to do that. And we were like, let's just get it going this year by having the leaders just eat donuts, and then maybe next year we can expand it once we see how it goes. So yes, so we're hoping. And Colette, I was just thinking, like, with the community leader meetings, like, everything's so serious, it would be really fun to have, like, all the leaders competing. It'd give us something to giggle about all year long, when, like, it gets really stressful, when we can't, like, figure out how to, like, work together. We can just giggle about that and keep working, so,
Next year, get a dunk tank and
And you're willing to go in that too?
Well, this is gonna get really big.
Right, right?
Oh, I'm not a big enough leader to do that part.
Oh, see? So, yeah, so mark your calendar for, Saturday, August 19th and Sunday, August 20th. It will be over at the Park District Band Shell. That way, if it rains, we are just gonna move it right into the sports arena instead of trying to reschedule. It should be, there's a lot of really fun things going on for it, so. And really grateful to the hotel motel tax to be able to, market this event, so looking forward to being able to do that. And just to say out loud, on Saturday, we will have 95 Low Rock, Leah Anderson, who is a ZB graduate. She will be broadcasting from here, as will their Latino radio station. We'll be broadcasting from 2 until 4 o'clock on Saturday. So when we're in the donut eating contest, they will be broadcasting on the radio to be able to, like, say who won, so. So a few other things. The Zion Quarterly came out on July 1st. Really, really proud of our community that we're still pulled together and working on that every quarter. More and more people are starting to realize that it's actually something to read. It's not junk magazine. So the more we can do that. So we've got that for the quarter. And if anybody has any events or anything they want to make sure are in there, you just email zbquarterly@gmail.com and she will make sure they're in there. Just update, so we are partnering with Carthage College. We have an intern that is looking at our marketing strategy and how we communicate with residents. And hopefully for the next meeting, we will have a report on what she came up with as far as that is concerned, and then potential next steps, working with other taxing bodies with Carthage College, with the vision of their spring class project, doing a project on how to rebrand our community. And so, looking forward to seeing how that progresses. And then, Trustee Frierson, do you want to talk a little bit about the community-wide study?
Yep, so I've mentioned it, I believe, last meeting. So we were able to conduct several listening sessions over the last month. We even got a chance to sit down with our summer work program kids and ask them some questions about how they see life here in Zion. So we were able to get a lot of good feedback. And so again, this is part of a program or grant with Healthcare Foundation of Northern Lake County. They're helping sponsor this grant funding. So our next steps are gonna be for our chief researcher to submit the IRB to their board so we can finish conducting the actual surveys. We're looking to do 400 by the end of October. So we'll have researchers going around and doing those in person. We're also right now looking for incentives that we can give to people for participating in the survey. So a lot of good information, a lot of good support and feedback from the residents, and some more to come.
So is the survey gonna be only in person? Will there be an online version that people will be able to take, or?
So we're meeting on that. I believe it will make sense for us to have an online option, just to help us make sure that we meet our number. But ideally, we'd like to hit as many as we can in person.
Okay. And do you have like a goal date of when you're hoping that will be launched?
No.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair enough.
a lot of that is, again, is dependent on approval from the IRB board, so, I'm hoping by the middle of August at the latest, but don't hold me to that.
That's very good. I'm really just excited for the potential that will come out of doing all of this research for grant funding and different things like that. Just to say, when Trustee McDowell and I and the mayor met with the CEO of City of Hope, and he made it really clear that they want to help invest in mental health in this community. And so, you know, hoping that like that will all lead together and we can keep rowing in the same direction and make this community even better, so excited. And then, last but not least, the Queen Bees of Zion Red Hat Society is in full swing. We are going to be at the concert in the park at the Zion Park District on Thursday night from 6:30 until 8:30, and then hopefully heading over to Culver's to color so that we can get them to turn in a coloring page as well. So that's going, just really appreciate Niali on my team. She and Sandra helped to create an applet, because we always did it, we just kind of wung it, if that's the right word. We have an application, we have a membership card, we have the schedule for the full year. So anybody that's interested in being in the Queen Bees of Zion Red Hat Society, if you can trust me to drive the bus, I've only gotten in one accident in all the years we've been doing it, so that's pretty good. And it was just sideswiping a vehicle, it wasn't like something major. Not just, that was probably not the best word for you guys. All right, I'm gonna shut up now. Dig. But then just to also share that we submitted a grant for the DCEO, the Energy Transition Community Grant, for $243,981. And at this point, we submitted it to support the emergency and general assistance programs. But once we know what's going on with all of that, we will come back and have a much bigger conversation about how all of that's going to work. So, because we don't actually know. So that is all I have. So with that said, we will move on to the decennial committee business. As part of a state law, every taxing body except for the municipal government and the county government have to do an evaluation of what we're doing well, and how we can up our game and work better together. And so, oh, Rose is in here. That's interesting. I want to thank Laura Murray and Rose Salata for being willing to be members of this committee. And I thought I would just start by, Laura sent me a page of questions, and I thought we would just go through them. Does that sound good, Laura? Right?
Yeah.
So that's.
Not sure I wanted this so public. I thought it was a conversation between you and myself.
Oh, it's totally up to you, because you ask really good questions that other people might have. So yeah, it's totally up to you. If you want to just go over them individually, we can.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
Don't my stupidity.
It's actually not stupidity. There's some really good questions here, just so you know. Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely not. And actually, that's why we asked you to be on the committee, because you're willing to ask the questions even if the judge in your head tells you that they're stupid, right? Because a lot of people won't ask questions because the judge in their head tells them they're stupid, but how do we get better if we aren't willing to ask them? So, thank you for that. Let's see, so a couple of things. So what we did was we had provided everybody on the committee all of the information on all of the programs that we do, all of the agreements, all of the foundation of what Zion Township does. And so first, Laura was really good with catching a couple of typos, so that was cool. We appreciate that too, right? So the first question was, what are the plans for Zion Township share of the money being allocated from the storage of the spent fuel rods? Are there any restrictions on how the money can be spent? Right now, we put in the application so this is what I said. Right now, we put in the application to assist with emergency assistance and general assistance. The plan is to lower taxes. So as a group, we're in a leadership team with all the different taxing bodies, and all of us are committed to lowering taxes, dealing with the infrastructure of the buildings, and shoring up services that have been greatly depleted since the power plant closed. And so what we all agreed was let's just do the application the best that we can based on their requirements, and then we will move forward working together on an intergovernmental agreement on how we will move forward. Is there anything I'm missing with that, Colette?
Nope.
No, fair enough. It's like one step, right?
Yep.
Kick the
First
ball.
step, get an application in, so.
Yeah. So we did that, so check. So what happens if the partnering agency runs out of allocated money? Our Zion Township clients refuse services. So we have a number of different partnerships with Salvation Army, with Mother's Trust Foundation, with LAHEAP, CAP to do assistance for utilities. And if they run out of money, so the way that it works is we can't use emergency assistance if we have another funding agency that can do that, right? So first priority is to utilize the other agencies' resources before we use people's taxes in town. But once those funds are exhausted, and they do get exhausted, right, because Salvation Army gives us, I think, $15,000 a year, and they end up giving us more, but we have to go back and ask for it. Then we refer to ours, and there's some situations where individuals don't qualify for emergency assistance if they're on disability. You can only get assistance from one state fund, and general assistance, emergency assistance is considered part of that state fund. So there's been situations where it was dire straits and it wasn't the person's fault, for lack of a better term, for their situation. And so in the town fund, we actually have a line item for disaster relief to be able to help with that too. So we do have funds in different areas to be able to help to whatever the need is. Cool. And then one of the other programs that we had done with the community of character was the Gotcha cards. And I had just partnered with Piggly Wiggly for a free cookie, CJ's for a free donut, Clover's for a free ice cream, and one other one, somebody else. And we had made those cards and given them to the police officers primarily and other people on the coalition, that if they caught somebody doing something good, they gave them the card. And that was all through the Coalition for Healthy Communities. And the community of character has been just kind of on a hiatus.
It's being rebirthed. We did do it last year. We had a small walk. We changed the route, and so currently working with the chief of police and some local pastors to see what that'll look like going forward.
Okay, because I was under the impression that they were thinking about like having it be a community walk, but not community of character anymore.
Correct. The label is changing, but people are still committed to the walk and getting the community together.
And then Laura's next question was, why wasn't the ELF project mentioned? Good catch, because we forgot about it, right? We just got done with ELF Network for Christmas, and it will be put in for the next time. So good catch with that. Okay, there wasn't much detail about employees. What specific jobs do your employees have? Do you ever hire part-time help during the busy times? Add a section in the document for each of the employee. That was a brilliant idea, to be able to showcase like what each employee does and right. So thank you. We will add that for the next meeting. And then what is the Circles USA project? What does it do? Who does it help? Discussion for future funds. It's been on my wish list for the last at least 12 to 15 years, I think. It used to be called Move the Mountain, then it was called something else, now it's called Circles USA. It's actually a program where you hire people as consultants that live in poverty. And they get like a $500 stipend a month, and it's their job to get out of poverty. And so they work with a coach, a community coach, every week to like, what's the first thing you want to address, and then that coach brings in supports to be able to do that. And then on top of it, they get connected with somebody that can also be like a mentor, but the person is the leader. So it's not, they're not going to follow somebody else. The person that's supporting them meets them where they are, right, to be able to help. So it's an incredible program. It's not cheap because they've done all of the work to try and make it the best. My favorite story around it was in Minneapolis. They did this, and the group came back, and so once a month they meet with the community leaders to share their concerns or complaints or things that they want to see changed. And they said that when they went, I probably shared this a few times before, but when they went to the grocery store and they used food stamps, the way that the person at the register treated them made them feel so cruddy about themselves that they wouldn't follow up on the other things they'd committed to for the day. They'd just go home, or they, and so the mayor actually mandated a training, Bridges Out of Poverty training for anybody that accepted food stamps. And so it like was huge to let people know, right, that if we can support each other in raising up, and so yeah, it's my pipe dream to be able to like bring that in, because I know that if we work together, we can turn this community around. So yeah, so that's definitely on my wish list. So Laura's next question, I should have just given you the list and you could have asked the questions. Do you wanna ask the next question, so I'm not
No, that's
talking all the
okay.
time?
You're doing fine.
Okay, so the next question was, I don't understand the Salvation Army contract. Do applicants have to volunteer their time with the organization? So it's weird, it's just weird. In order for us to be a Salvation Army agency, so people from Zion with the Program Beach Park can come to Zion Township and fill out a Salvation Army application for assistance. Our team had to become volunteers under the Salvation Army. And so they had to go through a whole training and sign paperwork saying that they were a volunteer for Salvation Army in order for us to be able to become the Salvation. And it used to be First Baptist Church in Winthrop
So
Park.
it's your staff and not the people asking for help.
Correct.
That's the
Yeah.
part
Oh,
that-
that makes sense. Yes. So it's Grace and Adriana on my team that have jumped through all of these hoops to be able to advocate on behalf of residents. Great
Thank
question.
you.
You betcha. Okay, regarding the summer work program, it says each student must have an IEP. So,
Yeah, that's what it said in the book.
yeah, but so it's a little bit misleading. The program has always been with the Job Center of Lake County, below an income level or an IEP. Now they've taken a paintbrush across the community and said any kid that lives in Zion can be in the summer work program, so we don't do that. But yeah, it's a little bit confusing.
That's what I was advocating.
So yes, so do you ever refer clients to the Kids Above All program in Waukegan? The work with women from the start of their pregnancy until the child reaches 5 years old. We don't. The organization that we refer them to is Family Resource Center down the street, Mary King, and they also work with kids from pregnancy. They have a boutique. They have all kinds of stuff. They do parenting classes. But we will definitely check into this organization too as another organization to
Okay.
share.
Because they have a Waukegan office.
Yep. Yep. No, that's awesome. Thank you.
They work with all of Lake County.
That's perfect. And then, are GA clients mandated to go to NACASA or is it voluntary? If there is an issue suspected that keeps them from being employed, oh, that's mine. If it depends on which track they're on. If they're pending disability, and we think that a substance use is getting in their way of any kind of a quality life, we will work with them to get an evaluation and walk through that with them. If it's impeding their employment, we definitely do. That's part of the general assistance program, that they have to get that addressed. Anything that's impeding their ability to be employed is what we do. Everybody following? Okay. Next question.
I guess I should apologize for asking so
No, this is exactly what we want, and we have until the city council meeting, so we'll, yeah, but you're fine. Yeah, you can come to the township board meeting. And just, one other thing to just kind of go over what we talked about doing, I met with, Colette and Cheryl, is that we would do the decennial committee business until about 5 to 7, and then clear out so that city council could. So whatever we get through, we'll just carry on for the next month until we're done. Sound good? So then Love Inc. suggests promoting their New Hope ministry. Is it the same classes as provided by Zion Township? Would they offer their classes at the township? Are they still doing those at Christ Community Church? Do you know where they moved them to?
Somewhere in Waukegan.
Okay. So no, Laura, it is not the same classes that the township offers. New Hope Ministry, it's similar to, I've had several conversations with Gary Garland, the executive director of Love Inc., because the Circles USA is kind of a similar program to what they're doing with New Hope Ministry, but it's not specific to, it's helping people, but it doesn't actually hire them as consultants to do the work, so it's kind of a different frame. And then how do GA clients identify themselves to the partnering agencies? Could you clarify that a little? Laura?
I'm sorry.
I said, how do GA clients identify themselves to the partnering agencies?
Yeah, like on the Assembly of God, I think they required you to show two proofs of identity that you're a Zion City resident.
Mm-hmm.
Amadea, you just pull in, they can prove to anybody. You said that the walking, I just wondered, what, do they have to carry a card? When they, you know, pull in to get the food, or when they ask for services?
So a lot of times, depending on the services, our case manager will direct connect them. But for food pantry and stuff, they just do it the same as everybody else. They have we help them to get all their IDs so that they have either a state ID or their driver's license, or, you know, we help them to have that so that they can get the same as everybody.
So typically, I guess, when we're referring to another agency, your staff or the case manager already confirms the identity, and then that's what you mean by
Works with the
transfer
agency.
people referral,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. That's probably the majority of what we do, is trying to have really good relationships with the other agencies so that we can just reach out to them and say, hey, right, and it just direct connects and gets them a lot further. Okay, and then
Oh, you don't have to talk about
the
the difference.
differences, okay.
I will, unless all meetings are public, there's just discrepancies between, at the front of the booklet, when you read what the township says they do, and then you read the contracts that the people turn in at the end of the year, there are a lot of discrepancies and no standard method of reporting.
Okay, so I'm just gonna capture that. I will,
But you don't have to read them all out.
okay, but I will have our business manager take a look at those and tweak the way that we report,
Okay.
and make sure that we can get those lined up, so, thank you. Awesome. Okay, any other questions from this information that I shared last month's meeting? Okay. For those of you that just came in, we are part of, we're in the township board meeting, we're in the follow-up of it. We do, the state of Illinois mandated that there be a 10-year local government efficiency committee put together to look at what we're doing and how we're doing it and try and make recommendations. And so, that's what we're just using up. We've gone through all of the township business, and now we're just going through, questions from last month's information that we gave out. And now we will move into the next level of it. So we've got the checklist of what was part of the report. And so, and everybody got the township code booklet?
Thank you.
So we have, so everybody has, their, all of the codes for the township. When, prior to Cheryl being the clerk, the last clerk, we actually went through and we read every single one just to make sure that we were following every single code. And like, I wanted to shoot myself, to be honest. My brain doesn't do this stuff, right? I wanted to be able to hand it off to somebody else and say, could you just tell me? But I didn't. We like went through page by page. And so what we're gonna be doing now is we're going to be asking for any changes from this one to this one, so that we don't have to like do the same thing again. So we're hoping that that will give us what we need to know, so. So that was the state laws applicable to townships. We got this book so that we have that, so that's a check mark. And then, information, it just says that we need to be in the know about the Open Meetings Act, state law, and so we are. And then, I did not print it, but Cheryl, you said you found we do have a public comment.
Yeah, I sent it to Sandra.
Perfect, so we will have that in the packet for the next time, but we do have a policy on public comment. We will have, designation of open meetings, act officer is Cheryl, our township clerk. And then here's the next question, all elected officials have completed the Open Meetings Act training. And I guess there is a refresher training. I couldn't find it on the website.
I can just get email addresses from everyone and I can send them a link
Okay,
and then everybody can do the training.
okay. And so, yeah, so thinking that like we should probably all do the updated training. And then including Laura, because you said yes to this committee, you have to take this training. So will Rose, so welcome to the team. Awesome, so then, the next item on the list is the schedule of all township regular meetings. We do have that. We have it posted, I believe, here and over at the township, but we will make sure that it is on the website as well for the year, for the list of the year. The next item on this list is the Illinois Freedom of Information Act, being aware of it in this booklet. It is actually pages 67 through 91, if you're bored tonight. And then the designation of the Freedom of Information Act officers. We actually have our clerk, Cheryl Spooner, and then our business manager, Sandra Usher, are the FOIA officers. And they have both been through the FOIA officer training. It's mandated for them. And then the computation and retention of FOIA requests, records disposal guide says that we can actually get rid of those every 2 years. So we looked that up and we had that. And then posting other required FOIA information, all of that is on the Zion Township website. We did that research to find that out. And then the list of types or categories of FOIA records under Township's control, that is all in here for wonderful reading. The periodic meetings to review closed meeting minutes. So that was an interesting one. We haven't had a closed meeting since we were in the process of appointing the next assessor. So Colette, how long have you been our assessor?
3 years, September.
So, yeah, that was the last closed meeting we had, and I think before that, I think we had a couple of closed meetings in 2015, 16. And so we will need to, for the next board meeting, schedule a closed session to review the minutes to see what we can, what we can release and what we need to hang on to. And so that's something else to act on. And then IMRF total compensation postings. We were under the impression it only had to be for people over so much income, but Sandra checked into that and she's in the process of updating our website on that because some of the employees are over that mark, because it has to include benefits as well. So then the next item on this whole list is designation of the whistleblower auditing official. We have made the Lake County State's Attorney our official for whistleblowing. If anybody smells anything that might be inappropriate, they're to notify the Lake County State's Attorney. So then the next item is all of our elected officials have filed statement of economic interest. I'm trusting we all have. Everybody nodding? Good. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll check that off. So the next item is sexual harassment prevention training. We're all women in the office, right? And so, but we still, I guess it's something that we're supposed to have done, so we will be looking into that in the next month to get that done.
I don't know. I think we all had to do that for the city of Zion,
Okay.
and I
Yeah.
don't, is it
Oh.
any different training?
Oh, good, so you guys have all been through it?
I have not.
Okay, good. Okay, so I was thinking it was just for staff, but have you been through it, Chris?
Yeah,
That was the
we all,
reason online when,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, Jackie, we'll make sure you get the information. Yeah,
I just want to make a statement that it doesn't matter that you're all women, there can still be sexual harassment.
amen. Very true. Thank you very much for that clarity. There isn't
Or
there.
perceived.
There isn't there, but yes, that does leave that open. Our intergovernmental agreements have all been included in this packet. Our social service agreements have also, and then our budget and financial documents are all in this packet, so that's that. And then state ethics laws, including but not limited to state officials and employee, that's all in here. And then, the last item on this list that we needed to go through for this decennial report is reports on government efficiency, including local government efficiency and size of Illinois, counting tax revenues, not governments, local democracy and townships in the Chicagoland area, and the Zion Township Efficiency Study, which we did as a board actually in December of 2016 with Harris Policy Labs. And so, if anybody, I just made one copy of these items, and thought whoever wanted to take them first. I was assuming that you guys have probably seen these over the years because they're not, one was in 2012. I'm not sure when this one is, but I was assuming Laura would probably be the one to want to take these first, if you would like them. Cool, I'll get those to you, so.
Can we get additional copies made?
We can, but I thought we could just pass them around, because why waste the paper? And the study that we had done is actually on our website. But it's up to you guys. If any of you guys want me to make a copy of these, I can definitely do that for you. So, who would like one?
You just scan and PDF to us?
I can.
That would probably be very efficient.
Okay, there we go. Oops, awesome. So, and we are in the countdown, so that said, I just lost my paper. Here it is. Nope, there you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura, for being so thorough.
Yeah.
All right, she is so thorough. So I'm gonna check that off, and I'm gonna I will send each of you a PDF of those articles. And so that is actually the next section for what we have to review. So we will work on having a copy of the public policy, all of us doing the Open Meetings Act training, the closed meeting review, sexual harassment training, and getting you guys the PDFs. And so we will have that for our next meeting, and I will get Rose up to speed on everything else. Any other questions, comments for the decennial committee report? Yes, sir.
Ma'am, I listened attentively to the supervisor's remarks about a bull riding contest.
Yes?
I ain't gonna be in that, but everybody in these chambers knows that I'm pretty good at shooting bulls.
Well, I'm pretty sure if you shoot this, you're talking about shooting the bull. Yeah. For God's sake, whatever you do, do not ask him how he's doing, okay? Because he's gonna tell you. Thank you, Mr. Brummer, I appreciate that. Are there any other questions, comments for the Township Board? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, motion a second, discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Trustee Fryerson?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
All right.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.